Okay, this is a video about changing the crank position sensor on one of these. This is a Nissan Altima, and I'll show you the cam position sensor as well because it's the same part. But I mean, here's our new part right here, still in the bag, and here's what it is. I've already got the engine cover pulled off. It's right here. Hang on, got it backwards. It's like that. It's got these Allen bolts in it. There's 4 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 holes. These little Allen screws. It's I don't know what size it is. About 4 millimeters, it looks like. Anyway, that comes off. And the cam position sensor. Oh yeah, I took the intake tube off. Where is that? Let's get this real quick and show you what we did here. I didn't have to unplug the MAF sensor because I didn't take the airbox out. There's another video that shows me taking the airbox out, and it's, you know, you can do that, but you don't really need to. There's the PCV hose. Goes on there, and you got your intake hose that goes to the throttle body right there, and the airbox right here. You just kind of got to work it in there. Anyway, I took that off, and it's pretty simple. You just get the PCV hose off and the 2 hose clamps on the 2 ends of this thing, and then just pull it out. Then right here is the crank position sensor. You have your throttle body right there, and little bracket that holds the engine cover, and this thing here, and then right down there is the cam position sensor, and it's got a 10 millimeter bolt underneath it, right down on the bottom there, that you take out to get that out, and you unplug it right here. And then, well, I was told it was the same part. Maybe it's not. Well, anyway, I don't know for sure, but I think they are. So the crank position sensor is down on the back of the block, and it goes in that way, down there by the crank. And once you have this stuff off, and I got a light down here. Here's my light sitting there, and the light's shining down there, and you see that mount. It's kind of a round thing with a bolt and a bracket right down there. Okay, I'm gonna back out here so you can see where we're at. We have the engine, the airbox, throttle body, and we're going to dive in between those 2 hoses right there, and you see that mount down there with that bolt on it. Now, I don't know if I can get my hand down there to show you or not, but way down here, let's see if I can reach down there. Okay, this cable here goes to it. It goes down, way down there, way down in there by that mount thing, and goes and plugs into it. So you see that cable down there by the mount that wasn't there before. That goes in there to the bottom, or near the bottom of the engine block, and plugs onto the back of that sensor. And the cool thing that I want to show you that I didn't see on the other video is they said you got to do it all by feel. But you don't. You can see that bolt right through here. You get your your manifold right here, intake manifold. You get your PCV fitting right there. And this little hose that comes and curves down right there, right between here and the manifold. I need to keep that in the center of the screen for you. Right between that hose and the manifold, you can look. There's an opening that goes all the way down, clear down to the bottom where that sensor is, and you can look at the bolt. While you get your hand down around there, where I got the light shining down by that mount, you can put your hand and your tool down there, your little socket with your 10 millimeter. I had this thing on there, and I had a little 1/4-inch ratchet driver on this thing, and I was putting it down around this wiring harness jacket here, down below there, and aiming it in there, and I got it on that 10 millimeter bolt. And you can look down, and the bolt's out now. You can look right down here, right down through that hole. And let's see if I can get it to focus down that way. You can see the sensor right there. I haven't pulled it out yet. And the bolt goes right in there. It's out, but that's the sensor. So you can look right down that little gap right there, and you can actually see what you're doing, and that makes all the difference. 90% of the battle is being able to see what you're doing. Anyway, you just get down there and get the sensor, wiggle it out. Just kind of get it and wiggle it out. Then put some lube on the O-ring of the new one, wiggle it back in there, line the hole up, and then get your bolt. And the other guy had a really good idea. He took the bolt. Where did I put that bolt? I put that little bolt somewhere. A little 10mm bolt. Anyway, he put it in the end of this with a piece of paper to jam it in there tight, so that the bolt wouldn't fall out. And then he carried this thing down there with the bolt already in it, and put it in there and threaded it in the hole. And that's what I'm going to do. That was a really good idea. So anyway, that's that. And I hope this helps. Thanks. I'm going to show you one more thing on this crank position sensor that I found out. And it's good to watch both videos. There's another one that they tell you how to push the green thing in on the plug to get the plug off. There's a little green catch, and you just push it in instead of pulling it out like normal, and then you can get the plug off. But anyway, this is what I wanted to tell you about. Here's the old part. It has the bolt hole and the plug, and it has this little catch thing on this side of the plug. It's the same side as the bolt hole. The new part from AutoZone, and I sat there and tried to plug that thing on for a long time and it wouldn't go. And finally I realized that the new part from AutoZone has the catch thing on the opposite side back here, and these little ears here are located mirror image as well. So just kind of, take note of that and check to see if they've got the plug reversed on you. As soon as I tried it the other way, it just went right on. So I just wanted to point that out since I ran into it and it cost me 15 minutes. Alright, thanks.